The Torah doesn't say that we are to shun the stranger, and it doesn't even say that we are to tolerate the stranger. What the Torah says is that we are to love the stranger. And how does it say that we are to love the stranger? The Torah says, "Ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha." Love the other as you would love yourself. Not love the other when it's convenient for you, not love the other at arm's length. Love the other as you would love yourself. Want for the other what you would want for yourself. Many have asked, though, how can you legislate love, and what would that love even look like? When it comes to the global refugee crisis, for me, as the great-granddaughter of refugees who fled Russian pogroms, the work that HIAS does is that love in motion. At 134 years old, HIAS is the oldest refugee organization in the world. We rescue, resettle, and aid refugees of all ethnic and religious backgrounds through 10 offices around the world, and is one of 9 volunteer agencies resettling refugees in the US and the only Jewish organization amongst them. Right now, we're leading a robust advocacy effort with strong and coordinated support from the American Jewish community, from many of you, to support policies that protect refugees. The Jewish community is speaking up quite loudly on behalf of refugees, and just as loudly against xenophobia and against Islamophobia, with a clear voice. And we are saying, yes, we will love our neighbor. Last week, HIAS organized a letter signed by over 1,200 rabbis. Can you imagine getting 1,200 rabbis to agree on one thing? But agree they did, and what they agreed was to ask our elected officials not to halt or even to limit the United States Refugee Admissions Program. And it's not just HIAS. Jewish organizations of all kinds across the spectrum of Judaism are issuing statements in support of refugees. These have included the Orthodox Union, the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum, and so many of the Jewish organizations that you heard are co-sponsors of this event this evening. HIAS works with affiliates throughout the United States, and so many of those affiliates are partnering with local Muslim organizations so that as we resettle refugees, we are building connections with local Muslim organizations and Muslim people in the places where we are doing this work, which is so important, especially now with so much virulent political rhetoric. This week, we are going to launch volunteer programs in New York, pairing New Yorkers with refugees being resettled here in New York, to help them learn English as a second language, as well as to provide compassionate correspondence for those in asylum detention. We have hundreds of people across the country who have expressed interest in working directly with refugees. We are going to continue to build and strengthen the movement of American Jews who are compelled to act, whether it's through advocacy, education, volunteering, tzedakah, in response to this just enormous and untenable refugee crisis. We invite each of you to join us. Tonight, I want you to think of one way that you can join us. Your presence here is the first step. What will be your next step? This doesn't have to be an issue that divides the Jewish and Muslim communities. This can be an issue that unites us. Time and time again throughout our history, the Jews have been refugees, and we know all too well the dangerous consequences of hate speech targeted at a particular religious minority. And so we say no to hate, and we say yes to love. Most importantly, though, we say yes to love in action. We say yes to love that looks like speaking up on behalf of some of the world's most vulnerable people, the 60 million displaced people worldwide, the nearly 20 million refugees, of whom 11 million are Syrian refugees fleeing violence and persecution who are in need of our protection. We say yes to love that looks like asking our national and local leaders to advocate for the dignity and protection of contemporary refugees, because our history and our values demand that we do. We say no to hate, and we say yes to love. Join me. We say yes to love. We say yes to love.